I'm Kevin Graham. He's Russell Boyce. He's Lawrence Conley, and we're just going to have 12 minutes of yoga breathing exercises after that first half, really, why is this game not finished, and why have the last 8 minutes of that game make me on tenterhooks for the second half? I mean, we were phenomenal for 37 minutes there, but the last 8 minutes, Hibs have scored, Tom Rogic has went off, put a wee bit of a dampener on it, but Russell Boyce, we were wondering about early goals. We got 2 early goals, and this game should be out of sight. We should be on the bus back along the M8 with the 3 points.
Absolutely agree with that. We spoke pre-match about earlier on in the season. We were seeing a wee bit, of it felt like when we conceded the goal, it unnerved us a wee bit, and I kind of felt a wee bit like that's happened again tonight, even though it's a commanding lead we've got, and there was a lot of brilliant football to be positive about. I just think the goals just it made the first half look a wee bit on a dampener. I would also say as well that the chances that we created, we actually should have scored more than 3 goals. I'm not trying to be negative because
no.
I appreciate it was a very good 37 minutes, like you said. In fact, it was excellent. Let's not beat around the bush. We were superb. But when you concede that goal and then you just see a slight momentum shift, Kev, would that be fair? And you just start then thinking, wow, Kyogo's got to score. I actually felt the one that went across the face of the box, one of them can slide in. Henrik, Hartson, I don't want to go back to yesterday all the time, but Hartsons of that in the world, they just throw their body at it, they take the chance and they bundle that ball over the line no matter what. And then David Turnbull, I thought he was quite wasteful with his opportunity as well. And you hope it doesn't come back to bite us. I think half times came at the right time, Kev.
Yeah, definitely, Russell, but you're not being negative because those missed chances and Hibs scoring now make those missed chances a talking point. It now makes them a talking point rather than going in at 3-0. Lawrence, I need to say this, but what about big Aussie Tam's feet for that third goal? That was like a snake going through the desert. They were size 14 feet, man. Unbelievable.
Listen, he's just fantastic, and I think Gogic, whatever, should have 2 yellows. The one who gets a yellow card, it's the same. It's just a trip on him, no attempt to play the ball. I agree with Russell. Turnbull should have hit the target, tested the keeper with that one. Mikey Johnston, he either hits the target or puts it on Kyogo's toe. It does nothing. Kyogo could have had another couple. It should be all over. In reality, at 3-1, it should be over. We've talked before about game management. Well, this is maybe a sub that you would have made anyway, bringing on Beaton to kind of manage the game. Hopefully, if half-time doesn't let us catch our breaths, I'll let the team catch their breaths and go, right, we're 3-1 up here, 45 minutes to go. Don't do anything silly here. We know that we can cut them open. Cam will play a bit further forward, give them something else to worry about. We'll get Giacomakis on the bench. We've got options there. We've got a bad out that could come on. So, I'm expecting maybe that my 4, us going forward, was maybe conservative after that first half. I think that might be achieved and reached.
I was actually thinking after 30 minutes that your 4 was maybe going to be conservative. Scott Howe, great save for Hart. Russell, we've got to tip our hats as well. We give all the plaudits to the front players, but you've got to have a look at Hart and Carter Vickers in this first half. Everything that's in the box, big Carter Vickers gets. And Joe Hart, what a phenomenal save when we're 1-0 up.
Well, it's a huge turning point as well in terms of the fact we go up the other end and score straight after it. I have to think that might be Hart's best save of the season so far. And he's had a few. I think he's had a few good ones, but that one, I'll be honest to you, you were already shaking your head and tutting, because you were convinced that ball was hitting the back of the net. I was like, oh, we'd looked like we'd started so well, but he's got his right leg out to it. It's reactive, but the thing is we were talking about as well is Celtic seem more calm. Joe Hart never came rushing out like an idiot there. He's been very calm in that situation. In fact, ice cold, you could say. And then, again, you've got to praise his reactions. And that save has then allowed us to, as I say, moments later, go up, double the lead. And then from 2-0, we look, we looked more gallous, shall we say, than what we have in the last 4 victories, which, is brilliant to see, because you earn that when you go 2-0 up against a difficult opposition. But aye, absolutely, in answer to your question, Joe Hart, superb, brilliant save. And again, I think over the course of the season, moments like that stack up, Kev, do you know what I mean? They're not just isolated moments. They will tally up, and they eventually equate to points on the board. And fair play to Joe Hart, brilliant save.
You're spot on, Russell. You need your goalkeeper to actually make saves. And that was something we didn't seem to have last season, because it doesn't matter how good we are going to give up chances, and your goalkeeper needs to do his job. Lawrence, we spoke beforehand about Hibs maybe being a bit more to sit in a bit. It was quite obvious that they tell Alexander Gogic to go and man-mark Big Tam. It wasn't working. And there's probably an argument that Gogic should have been booked before he actually was. But do you think us losing Tom Rogic just before half-time there will knock us off our stride a bit? Hopefully not. Callum McGregor's just moved forward. But the next goal in this second half is really, really important. And if we get it, then I think it is a case of how many we're going to score.
Well, listen, there's a chance of that, because see, in transition, I don't think Hibs was sitting particularly deep. They were trying. It's just we broke it down and moved it really quick, Big Tam in particular. So I suppose Beaton generally slows the game down a bit, doesn't he? So it's in transition. If it falls to Beaton, he's generally a bit slow at moving the ball on. But we're 3-1 out. We should see this game out. Easily now. You don't even need to put McGregor further forward. You could just leave him and Beaton sitting a bit deeper. You could pick them off. You could bring Abada on, or move Joe to the left, Abada on the right. Take Mikey Johnson off. He's looked okay in flashes, but I think a couple of wasteful times. He's either having the shot, he's put it on Kyogo's toes, and he does neither with it. You know what I mean? It should have been another goal there. But you talked about it earlier. We've got options on the bench, that we can bring on. And Hibs are, if they're wanting anything for this game, they're going to have to come out at us. They've got to be knackered after that half. And Leo Abada coming on, you would want to like to be up against his pace.
Mm-hmm. Now there's 1,500 live at this precise moment in time. Please get subscribing to the channel. What you can win if you subscribe is going along the bottom there. Some fantastic prizes this month. Russell, how do you think Mikey Johnson's looked on his first start? And I can't even remember when the last time he actually started a game for Celtic. How do you think he's looked tonight?
I think he's done well, and I think again his inclusion showed that Celtic, I think, have played faster tonight again. Today was a throwback more to earlier on in the season, sort of those first halves, because I think actually we've been a lot slower paced in first halves of late, but it's been more sort of measured and controlled. And perhaps the clue was in the lineup when Johnson was included, and you're looking at it and you're going, Rogic and Turnbull to me are 2 number 10s, 2 number 10s, 2 wingers, and arguably the paciest striker in the country, through the middle. It's like, well, that's 5 that are going to be camped in the other team's half, predominantly aren't known for their... Well, Kyogo's known for his tracking back, I suppose, but he's not going to be doing much of it when he's playing through the middle. And then it just goes to show when we played how effective it can be. I think, again, like we seen with Giakoumakis at the weekend, we've seen a difference to Celtic's style of play by having Johnston in it that, again, shows now more strings to our bow, or whatever the saying is. It's a good thing. Would I protect them now, though? Because something that's really fascinated me when Celtic make new signings, and I think I've kind of mentioned this a few times over the last year, even when Lennon was in charge and that, or not even necessarily new signings, but players that have been injured, how long it seems to take either a new signing to get up to match pace, or a player who's been out for a while up to match fitness. There's so many cases of it, and we've discussed it at length. So Johnston, for me to be in the starting lineup after only 6-7 minutes against Ferencváros, 15-20 minutes at the weekend, and then he starts tonight, you would expect, he's been out for a heck of a lot longer than what Giakoumakis was. In fact, rumour was he actually did do his pre-season with VVV. So I think that's interesting. I would expect that Johnson will be protected. And I think if he comes out for the second half, I would expect him to be probably the most likely first sub of the second half. Just quickly on Tom Rogic, because he's mentioned him. He's got his slippers back on, hasn't he?
Oh,
he's playing in the
definitely.
slippers tonight.
Definitely. Rob Garland, who is in Australia, Rogic snaking through 4 or 5 players to set up the assist. Brilliant. I've only been following the SPL since Ange got the job, but I've watched every game and I haven't seen anyone yet with feet like TR. Just before we end this broadcast, the half-time will be back at full-time. Lawrence, Tony Ralston diving header, It seems to be a case that anything Charlie Mulgrew can do, or Tony Ralston can do far better.
Oh, definitely. Listen, I was on a game at the weekend with Paul, and I was just complaining it's been a wee while since Tony scored. I mean, what's he all about? We're expecting these kind of performances for Tony now, aren't we? You know, he's just getting better and better as the season goes on. Hopefully we do sign him up in a new contract, but he continues to confound the critics, doesn't he? You know, I think everybody had written him off bar Tony Ralston and his mum beginning of the season. And you know, and I think everybody's on the Ralston bus, isn't
he? He's playing phenomenally well. Now,
speaking of diving headers, not the only diving header tonight.
I haven't seen that one yet, but hopefully, if everything goes to plan when we come back on this at the back of 9:30, we might actually mention that. So, thanks for everybody tuning in. I say there's nearly 1,500 tuning in. Let's get back. Go and get yourself a beer. Enjoy the second half, and we'll see you all back here just after 9:30. Hopefully, with 3 points in the bag and some more goals. Come on, the leather belts.
Cheers.